Jim, Cam McGrone, ever since he's gotten into your starting lineup, has given you the ability to do certain things. Talk about how he has affected your defense and where you've seen him develop.
Physicality, speed, and getting better and better with understanding all the adjustments to the defensive calls, his responsibilities, and the others around him. And just playing really good football.
What was your assessment of Sean McCune's play and how important is it to have him back in offense, especially when it comes to blocking?
Yeah, that's astute eye by you. Sean had a terrific game. He did a really good job blocking ends and linebackers. It was a big key in a lot of pass protection and in the run game, and also made a couple big catches, especially the long third down. But he had a terrific game. Means a lot to have him back.
What jumps out at you so far looking at Indiana on both sides?
Really good football team. I think Tom Allen's done a great job with the program there and with the ball club. Defensively, I think he's built that team into being a winning team through the defense. It's a physical front up front and very athletic in the secondary and at the linebacker position. They got a lot of good schemes and adjustments. They're very good by formation through the varying formations, different calls to get to the same defense of structure. I think he's got a lot of enthusiasm. He's really focused. You can tell as a coach, and I think that rubs off on his football team. And they play sound offensively. They don't beat themselves, and they make big plays. Good-looking team too. They, from a physical standpoint and an athletic standpoint, and the way they run, they've done a great job.
With the way you guys are playing, do you feel like you can go toe-to-toe with any team in the country right now?
Well, Indiana's going to be tough to beat, but I think, we'll be tough to beat too.
But I mean, as a whole, I mean, do you feel like you guys are at a place where you can compete?
I definitely think we. Just what I said. Yeah, that's what I really think.
Coach, guessing Shea was your offensive player of the game for this game?
Shea and Ronnie Bell. Yeah, Ronnie was terrific. Shea was terrific. Yes.
And then defense and special teams. Who were those players of the game for you?
Defensively, Ambry Thomas and Lavert Hill. Special teams, Quinn Nordine and Kalik Hudson.
Jim, when did flexing your muscles on the sideline become a taunting penalty? Did the conference talk to you about why they threw a flag for that?
We have a question in on it right now, but it's a good question. I think he just flexed one, but it should probably be spelled out. I watch a lot of TV, watch a lot of football games, and I see a lot of gestures, I know remember that being something you couldn't do, but should be a good thing to talk about. I mean, I know you got a radio program. You could probably fill a lot of air with that one. Yeah, I'd be curious to know as well. I know there's some emphasis made at not at a player, but that certainly Tariq wasn't at a player, an opposing player. So be good to get some clarity.
On the left, Larry.
Why do you think Hudson has a knack of blocking punts, something that's pretty hard to do without a penalty for a period?
Yeah, he really does. He does have a knack. I mean, I think you can start there. It's been really good technique that he's developed. Really good coaching of that technique. You know, it's and a lot of times it's when you block against a shield punt. You know, where they have 2 or 3 blockers. You know, it's you're trying to outman them by 1, and you don't know who of those 3 on the 2 shield punt blockers or the 4 on the 3 is going to actually get blocked and who's going to come free. And you know, there's a you know, it's a team group effort there to try to get that punt blocked. But he definitely has a great technique. You know, when he lays out, or when he's trying to get the ball off the punter's foot, you know, he gets down onto the ground real fast too. He's blocked the most in Michigan history that we can find, or recorded Michigan history, because we were interested in that. Apparently, Dave could fill you in that before 1990.
Marquise Walker had 4. That was the most prior to Gleek's 5.
But there was a time where they didn't keep stats of what a block punt, who the block punt was by. But I'd be curious to know if there's anybody who's blocked more in college football. Another interesting thing came up from a statistician perspective. We were looking at it, and there's some teams that count a block punt that it has to be blocked and be behind the line of scrimmage, and Penn State, if they even tip the ball and it goes past the line of scrimmage, they count that as a block punt. So interesting that, because they showed 2 block punts on the year this year, but one was actually caught 40 yards downfield.
On the right there, Nick.
Do you count
Curious about that as
Do you
well.
count that as a block punt? Do you have to block it all the way back?
I know our statistician has to be, I guess then it's up to the home team statistician to how they count that. So just some interesting things we found as we were trying to look at, you know, has anybody ever blocked more punts than Khaleke Hudson in a college career? Who's our statistician? I don't even know that.
Jim Meyer.
Jim Meyer?
Sorry, not to get you off that track, but you mentioned respect for Tom Allen, Indiana's program, everything they've done.
Yeah.
They're back to Ramsey, a quarterback who you guys have seen before.
Yeah.
Offensively, they've done some things that have given you guys problems before. What is it about maybe Ramsey that you see, and then their offense in general, of why it maybe is pretty unique and does some damage to just about everybody they play?
Yeah, they're really good up front. I've always thought Ramsey was terrific. Peyton Ramsey, terrific quarterback. He played against us as a true freshman and played really well. Played a lot of good football. Very experienced quarterback now. You know, they do a good job. They can get on the edge. I mean, they can throw. They can power football as well. I mean, they're strong, athletic front, and their backs are really impressive looking and impressive running.
One of the more challenging offenses you see in the Big Ten, you think? Just from the standpoint they can do a lot of things.
Yeah, I think there's as challenging as any offense in the Big Ten. Receivers that are dynamic, can make plays down the field, can quick, fast, you know, catch the ball and run with it.
Back left, Daniel.
Jim, I know you touched on Josh's play calling on Saturday, but I'm just wondering, from the course of the whole season, what's it been like watching him grow?
Real good, doing a terrific job. You know, it's I think we talked like, you know, pretty much every week how I feel about the job that he's doing. I think it's doing an outstanding job.
Are there any conversations that maybe stick out to you, or any that you can identify as a turning point that you saw?
I think it's been he's really good at studying the game planning. does a great job, getting the players involved, getting the other coaches involved, and has got a real passion for football. Everybody has a lot of respect for that, and a lot of energy on the practice field and in the meeting room. Really good.
Right there, Ashley.
Jim, on Saturday, Ronnie talked about the support he received from the program, his family, friends, since the Penn State game when he had the drop in the end zone. Just how have you seen him in the ensuing weeks kind of respond to the adversity in that game?
Good. Those good thing about Ronnie Bell to me, I mean, is that he's the same guy every day. He's practices every practice, plays in every game. Wide awake for every meeting, and attacks every day with determined to improve and get better. So he's, to me, there's been, it's the same guy.
Middle, Austin.
Jim, obviously there will be a lot of build-up for the game next week. Is that something that you address with your team at all this week in terms of not looking ahead, or are they locked in enough at this point that kind of goes unsaid?
Yeah, I mean, we come off a big game against Michigan State, and you come back to work to regroup, refit, retool, get ready for your next opponent.
Knowing that, things kind of have been out of your control since the Penn State game, does that kind of have a benefit in some ways with taking the pressure off the team? And I don't know, have you seen the team play looser in some ways because they know that things are kind of out of their control at this point?
I've just seen continued improvement from our team. Talked about, what I've seen is tremendous effort by our team, and when you get that, you can get everything else. I've seen continuous development, improvement by the team. So everybody wants to talk about, well, was it this since the Penn State game, the second half, or why is your team better? What's the biggest thing? I mean, the team's just been improving, been getting better. I mean, you can't plant potatoes one day and expect to eat potato salad the next day. There's some time to develop.
But I mean, they don't have to weigh to the expectations maybe they had at the preseason, knowing that.
You can write whatever you want in an article. I mean, I'm answering your question. That's what I've seen: continuous improvement by the football team in really good ways.
Front left, Aaron.
Austin asked it.
Kelly, Chris, over here on the right.
Coach, can you talk about the job your receivers did on the perimeter blocking in this game on Saturday?
Yeah, that's been a really good thing for our team. I'd say probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, it just it was at a point early where it wasn't that good, and that's an area we've really gotten better at, really improved steadily, and it was at its best in this past game. But that's been a real focus for us, and how do you get yards after contact, break tackles or get guys blocked. If you don't have the ball, to me, you're a blocker on a down or a play, and that was big this week.
Last question.
Really happy with that part of our game.
Jim, on McGrone again, are you giving him more responsibilities, things to do on the defense as the season has gone on, and more time for him?
He's had I mean, from playing the position he plays, I mean, there's a lot to do. He's involved in the run fits. He's involved in the blitz package. He's involved in the coverage. So I mean, from the beginning, he's has about as much as you can have, which is a lot.
Calls or anything like that, or making calls or anything like that, or is there, as time has gone on, and you're doing more of those kind of things?
It's been a full plate from the very beginning. Yeah, he's done a great job.